Good afternoon. I want to begin with a simple observation. Cities don't sleep, yet most of our urban services, buildings, and public spaces are designed as if the world ends at sunset. At MTL, my team set out to challenge that assumption. In partnership with MTL 2424 and Architecture Sans Frontières, we explore what it means to design with and for the communities that inhabit the city at night. People whose experiences are too often invisible in planning and architecture. Today, I will show how we have integrated nighttime thinking into architectural education, how students map the after-hour spaces and networks of care, and how these investigations informed proposals for a future Maison de la Nuit. Last winter semester, we had the opportunity to collaborate with MTL 2424 in a teaching context that complemented our research. Our research shows that most urban services are designed for the perpetual day, shutting down after dark. This raises important questions. How do the uses and meanings of the built environment change over the 24-hour cycle? And critically, why are those who inhabit the city at night, shift workers, night owls, people sleeping outdoors, and many others, why are they so often overlooked in design considerations? We argue that our profession, architecture, lacks comprehensive knowledge about existing infrastructures and spaces that support nighttime inhabitants. And our team has therefore been working to incorporate a nighttime perspective across two areas: design education and design research. As part of this work, we have been examining what we call spaces of night care, spaces from around the world that serve various communities after hours. We argue that current design education fails to prepare students and thereby future architects to think critically about the night. Architectural studio culture primarily focuses on daytime use, even though cities operate around the clock. To develop a more grounded, interdisciplinary approach, we draw on night studies and community expertise. Equally important is training design researchers in participatory methods so they can work effectively with marginalized communities to identify vital spatial needs. For those unfamiliar with architectural education, the core of our curriculum is the design studio. So students work on projects that increase in complexity each term, culminating in what we call jury or design reviews with invited critics. And occasionally, these projects respond to real-world needs. When Montreal introduced its nighttime policy, when the city introduced its nighttime policy in October 2024, I contacted our partner, MTL 2424, to explore a collaboration where they would act as our imaginary client. They accepted enthusiastically, and the studio and the student work I'm going to present today resulted from this partnership. MTL 2424's vision for Maison de la Nuit is not just another nighttime venue. It's an investment in night culture itself. It seeks to create a space where citizens can actively shape how the night is governed and experienced. While many cities have introduced night mayors over the past decade, institutional structures to support this work remain limited. Around the same time as the city made public its nighttime policy, we learned that the city of Amsterdam launched its Institute for Night Culture. That was, again, October 2024. We reached out to this new institute's architect and invited him for discussion and review of students' work. And to the left, I guess, are the design drawings of Amsterdam's Institute of Night Culture. That institution's consultations, asking experts and practitioners this question, what is an Institute of Night Culture, was published in a book form. And that publication became a valuable resource for our students alongside the project brief MTL 2424 provided to us, which is summarized here. The studio was composed of 12 students whose works I will share with you, and I believe some of them are in the audience. I'd like to take a moment to thank all our reviewers and guest speakers, Martin Chartand, David Mulder van der Werkt, and from our team in the audience, Bill Straw, Alana Thane, and Sonia Blank for stimulating conversations with the students. And among today's organizers, of course, Max Honigman and Xavier here regularly offered feedback in reviews. And Thomas Peltier from among the presenters today and from the city of Montreal was kind enough to speak at a roundtable we organized on institutions of night culture. So the projects I will show you developed through all these very rich conversations and guest talks. The studio unfolded in 3 phases. First, students researched global night care spaces. Second, they mapped nighttime care networks in Montreal. And the third longest phase was dedicated to speculating on what Montreal's Maison de la Nuit be like, what it may look like. So students started by identifying non-institutional care spaces that meet the needs of a 24-hour city. I will present 3 examples to illustrate the types of concerns they examined, and it was one of their tasks to bring from their research to their designs for Maison de la Nuit. So it's really important that I share a few examples. In this series of drawings, Kiki Liu explores Hong Kong's 24-hour McDonald's restaurants, which serve as informal shelters at night, offering air conditioning, free Wi-Fi and restrooms for those seeking relief from the heat or from poor living conditions. A simple, doors always open policy allows this coexistence of users. Here, drawing on oral history interviews about the Lebanese civil war, Gal Haddad illustrates how basements in residential buildings were transformed into makeshift bomb shelters. The drawings examine how the concept of home can be collectively created in improvised spaces. Jessica Villarasa explores in this drawing the evolution of Japan's capsule hotel typology, which emerged as a budget option for travelers and overworked salarymen, but increasingly evolved into shelters for unhoused people after the pandemic. So the drawing showcases shared dining areas, private sleeping capsules, and essential care amenities used by multiple overlapping communities. In the second phase of the research, we focused on Montreal's local networks of night care spaces to understand their existence, presence, and challenges. Ishan Anand researched food security during the night. Although many facilities operate 24/7 across the island, night workers have access to only 7 late-night groceries, all located in the city center. So this map playfully visualizes food access as deserts, forests, and rainforests, depending on availability during the day and night. Anastasia Kubasova mapped Montreal's after-hour pulse for queer communities. Her drawing charts queer venues, recurring event series, and pop-up events using building icons for permanent spaces and figures for mobile events, alongside indicators of age groups, frequency, and intensity. Here, Nicolas Santoianni explored nighttime sports, focusing on informal community hockey leagues, known as garage leagues. These have long provided recreational, social nighttime spaces. His map reveals the closure of several neighborhood arenas, summarized in his pointed title, Montreal Closing the Door on Garage Leagues. After completing the research phase, we moved on to the design of Maison de la Nuit. Each project had to incorporate one or more program elements from the research phase, such as sports, food security, or queer nightlife, into MTL 2424's overarching vision. MTL, in terms of site, MTL 2424 had suggested two potential sites, one with street fronts to Saint Laurent and Rue Saint-Dominique down the road, and the other one near the Jacques Cartier Bridge. Most students preferred the one under the Jacques Cartier Bridge, where Village au Pied du Croix takes place each summer, and there was a presentation in the morning about that. Bronwyn Bell and Nicolas Santoianni designed a scaffolded box-like building whose centerpiece is a sphere. This is a nod, of course, to Montreal's icons such as the orange julep and the biosphere. Inside the scaffold are dance halls, offices, research library, and exhibition spaces. Integrated into the surrounding landscape are nighttime sports facilities. Access is provided through a small house-like structure across the busy Notre Dame Street and via an underground tunnel. Kiki Liu, Karim Payet, and Jeremy Turbide titled their project Hide and Seek. The project embraces the interplay of concealment and revelation. Structural arrangements and shifting installations create opportunities both to see and to be seen. The programs they brought from their research phase include a rooftop edible garden, a community kitchen and restaurant, and outdoor film screenings. And the landscape design further enables uninterrupted strolls along the waterside. Again, for the same site, another student, Hayla Elijaji, proposes Take Them to the Edge. That's the title of the project. She imagines a nightlife, an institute of night culture, which incorporates a sex institute. And this new nightlife institute is deeply engaged with sex work advocacy. And her design creates an enveloping environment that's both sensual and safe, positioning care and agency at the heart of nighttime experience. Anastasia Kuvasova and Gail Haddad, in their proposal, offer a typological exploration of Maison de la Nuit through a peep show box. Each opening reveals a home-like interior. The project's exterior, the material and formal language, however, draws from Montreal's urban industrial context of silos and warehouses. Bianca Hacker and Jessica Villarasa's proposal consists of 3 volumes. The middle volume is lifted up to activate pedestrian circulation from the busy street toward an outdoor stage and public plaza alongside the water side. And the first volume is programmatically partly a capsule hotel and partly a sauna, and they call it the Sanctuary. Ishan Anand and Darshini Babu were the only students who chose to work on the Saint Laurent site just down the street from the SAT. This site has street frontage to both Saint Laurent and Rue Saint-Dominique, and these streets are at different datums, different levels. Thus, in responding to the very strict site conditions, the facade gently curves to create an alley and an internal facade. When the venue is in operation, part of the facade lifts up. the level difference inside the building, the level difference between the street fronts is negotiated by extensive sculptural ramps that serve as a civic space. So I wanted to give you a glimpse of the range of projects, range of visions for Maison de la Nuit. What we learned through this work is simple but powerful. When we design for the night, we see the city differently. We see who's excluded. We see where care is happening informally. And we see opportunities, real transformative opportunities for more just and vibrant urban life. The students' visions for Montreal's Maison de la Nuit show that nighttime design can spark new institutional models, amplify marginalized voices, and expand what we imagine is possible after dark. If cities truly run 24/7, then design education must do the same. And embracing the night is not just about nightlife. It's about recognizing the night as a space of social dreaming, civic participation, and new ways of understanding the city. Some of the students are in the audience, and I believe they can take questions about their projects. I believe some of their exploratory digital stories are on display. Is that so? Yep. Yes, great. Please write to us with any questions you may have and visit our website to learn more about the projects. And I want to mention I have a 5-minute film digital story our student research assistants Iris, Sonia, and René produced. If there's time, I'd like to share that with you. It's in French, and it may be more accessible in terms of what we are trying to do with our research. Before playing the video, I want to conclude my presentation by saying it was a pleasure to collaborate with MTL 2424, and I hope as a group based in the university, we have also made a positive contribution to their vision for Montreal's Maison de la Nuit, and we look forward to it happening. Thank you.
Quand on pense à la nuit en ville, on imagine souvent deux extrêmes. Des gens qui profitent de la vie nocturne dans les bars et les clubs, et d'autres qui se reposent en sécurité chez eux. Mais pour beaucoup, la réalité de la nuit est bien différente. Un nombre croissant de personnes sont forcées de dormir dehors, dans les espaces publics, parfois même dans le froid glacial de l'hiver. Pendant ce temps, les travailleurs et travailleuses de nuit font tourner la ville, souvent dans des conditions peu sécuritaires ou isolées. Pour plusieurs personnes queer et trans, les lieux de vie nocturne ne sont pas toujours accueillants. Peu d'espaces sont véritablement inclusifs et sécuritaires pour la communauté LGBTQ+. Malgré ces réalités, l'aménagement urbain et la conception de la nuit mettent encore trop souvent l'accent sur la croissance économique et le tourisme, au détriment des populations les plus vulnérables. Alors, que signifierait concevoir une ville qui prend réellement soin de celles et ceux qui vivent la nuit? Comment faire en sorte que Montréal soit accueillante, accessible et sécuritaire pour toutes et tous, peu importe qui l'on est ou à quelle heure on traverse la ville? Pour répondre à ces questions, nous avons adopté une approche intersectionnelle et collaborative réunissant des chercheuses et des étudiants de divers horizons. Nous travaillons aussi avec des partenaires communautaires qui apportent leur savoir vécu et leur expertise du terrain. Notre démarche est aussi diversifiée que notre équipe. Nous avons développé de nouveaux cours pour les étudiants en architecture, discuté avec les communautés LGBTQ+, de leurs expériences dans les espaces queer existants, mené des marches de nuit à travers Montréal pour comprendre comment différentes personnes naviguent la ville après la tombée du jour, rencontré des travailleurs de nuit pour connaître les défis qu'ils rencontrent, et cartographié les services ouverts 24 heures sur 24 afin d'identifier ce qui est accessible et ce qui ne l'est pas. À travers ce travail, une chose est devenue très claire. Les besoins de ces communautés restent invisibles, pour les urbanistes, les entreprises et même pour une grande partie du public. Alors, comment changer ça? Pour rendre visibles ces perspectives négligées et encourager un vrai changement, notre équipe a identifié 3 actions clés. Action 1. Repenser la gouvernance de la nuit. Partout au pays, la plupart des services municipaux ferment leurs portes une fois la nuit tombée, à l'exception des services d'urgence. Pourtant, près d'un Canadien sur 5 travaille de nuit et bien d'autres utilisent les espaces publics après le coucher du soleil. C'est pourquoi nous plaidons pour une gouvernance nocturne formelle avec des maires de la nuit, des instituts de la nuit et des responsables dédiés à faire en sorte que chaque service municipal tienne compte des réalités de la vie après la tombée du jour. Leur mission, élaborer des politiques qui vont au-delà de la vie nocturne et qui répondent aux besoins réels des habitants de la nuit, comme des toilettes accessibles, des espaces verts sécuritaires ou même un transport public fiable, même à 3 heures du matin. Action 2. Intégrer l'architecture aux politiques de la nuit et la nuit à la pratique architecturale. L'architecture joue un rôle essentiel dans la forme et le fonctionnement de nos villes, mais jusqu'à présent, elle a été largement absente des discussions sur la conception nocturne. Nous voulons que les architectes collaborent davantage avec les communautés pour créer des espaces sûrs, inclusifs et accueillants qui répondent véritablement aux besoins de ceux qui habitent la nuit. Impliquer les travailleurs de la nuit, les personnes LGBTQ+, les personnes en situation d'itinérance dans des processus de conception participative, développer de nouveaux outils pour évaluer comment les espaces fonctionnent sur un cycle 24 heures. L'un de ces outils pourrait être le test de la nuit, une exigence dans les processus d'approbation des projets pour s'assurer que les nouveaux aménagements fonctionnent aussi bien la nuit que le jour. Pour y arriver, nous avons besoin d'un leadership fort des associations professionnelles et de formations qui enseignent comment concevoir avec et pour les communautés marginalisées. Ce qui nous amène à notre 3e et dernière action. Action 3. Intégrer la conception nocturne à l'éducation. Aujourd'hui, la formation en architecture se concentre presque exclusivement sur la conception pendant la journée. La nuit est souvent reléguée au second plan, voire ignorée. Nous voulons changer ça. Nous développons des nouveaux cours, partageons nos recherches publiquement et construisons un inventaire de l'infrastructure nocturne. Notre objectif à long terme, intégrer la pensée 24 heures sur 24 dans les critères d'accréditation en architecture pour que chaque étudiant apprenne à concevoir pour toutes les temporalités de la vie urbaine. Montréal est une ville fière de sa culture, de sa diversité et de son inclusivité. Mais ces valeurs doivent s'étendre au-delà du jour. En repensant la nuit à travers le prisme du soin et de l'équité, nous pouvons créer une ville plus juste, plus humaine et véritablement inclusive, 24 heures sur 24.